I am Kellie Wright, and the first show that I did at the barn was in 2009, and that was Annie.
And I'm her husband, Bill Wright, and I don't remember the year. It was Fiddler on the Roof. I want to say it was probably 8 years ago or so.
We heard about the barn theater actually when we first moved here shortly after 2003.
Right.
But I was busy with little young kids, and so that seemed like way too much to put on my plate. So I didn't actually audition and get involved until a few years later.
And Kellie had been involved in at least one production, and so when Fiddler on the Roof came up, we were both excited to do that together. So that was, we had been to barn productions, but that was our first introduction, really.
Well, for me, I did a lot of theater in college and in high school, way back, decades and decades ago. And since we have been married, probably I have directed some children's plays early on in our marriage and really enjoyed it. And so I went ahead and started all over again, it kind of felt like.
And I had been in a couple of productions in high school until I got involved in sports and couldn't do both. And really it was, I enjoyed watching Kellie on the stage. And so when there was an opportunity to do it together, that's what I wanted to do. And we've enjoyed that. It's a little nerve-wracking trying to figure out choreography and dancing. And I was the constable, so I really wasn't supposed to dance, but I went to every rehearsal. So I learned all the dances and actually got incorporated in a few, and just enjoyed encouraging people. So a special moment was during the production of Fiddler on the Roof, during the intermission, we would basically celebrate a Shabbat down in the green room, and we would go around and pray prayers of blessing over each other with the lights down and grape juice, and it was just a real special moment, and it brought us together as a cast, and we were able to share a lot of hard things in life through that. So
For me, I think being involved in the barn has been helpful as I meet people from the community, and then seeing them around and knowing way more people than I would have ever known if I hadn't gotten involved at the barn.
So your first production was?
Annie.
And who was your dance partner?
Oh yes, that's a story. Annie was the first musical, and my dance partner and I did a lot of things with this little girl that her name was Jamie Saletta. And very sweet. We got to know each other well. And years later, my son met her, and now she's my daughter-in-law. So that's kind of a fun story.
Well, we are pretty picky on what shows we want to audition for. So we think it through, and we really do try to do shows that we can be together, because it's a lot of rehearsal and it's many nights. And so instead of one of us being home and the other at the theater, we'd rather both be there. And so we enjoy being on stage together. We enjoy encouraging each other. We enjoy helping each other with lines or whatever. But typically we do shows together. There's been a few that we've done solo, and usually in that case, the other person volunteers for something else backstage.
Right. And there's a couple of times that we played opposite each other. That was fun.
So I think I'm up to 3 times I've gotten to kiss you on stage. That's my favorite part.
I think we keep coming back because you become family. and you hone relationships and friendships that are deeper than casual.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time together, and I think the people themselves is the thing that keeps me coming back and working, whether it's on stage acting or backstage as a grip or
Right.
selling tickets at the ticket booth. We love it.
I would, that's it exactly. It is the people, and that we don't have to be on stage. We enjoy being on stage, but as Kelly said, I mean, I enjoyed ushering and escorting, treating little old ladies like they're royalty to their seats, and we just enjoy helping. We enjoy the people, and that's it. There are a lot of opportunities. It's a great way to serve your community. It's a great way to love on people. It's a great way to be part of a community, whether you are building a set. It brings tears to my eyes. This last show, Matt Onan built his first set, and I'm reading the bios, and it's community theater. It's people coming alongside, helping out, jumping in. You don't know how to do something, well, you can drive a paintbrush, or move something during a production as a grip, or work the ticket booth, or be an usher. Or there are plenty of opportunities. If you're a seamstress, they're always looking for people to work on costumes. If you're creative and handy, there's always a little bit of stage magic that needs to be figured out. So lots of stuff.
Something that really will stick with you through the years.
I think it was the production of Big Fish, because it was such a heart show. It was about reconciliation between a father and a son. And it was also about the father in his journey of dying as he had cancer. And there were so many things that happened in the cast that just related to those scenes, to those characters, and the discussions that we had as a cast were so deep and so good. And just the encouragement and the love poured out on each other. That's what will stick with me.
That was by far my favorite show. It never sold out. And there'd be audience members going, oh, I wish more people knew. And I would say, we're doing this show because we love it and for each other. We would have done it for an empty house and still stand there with tears streaming down our cheeks every night. I think the big things that have impacted me is watching people develop. I can remember a person, I won't name names, I don't want to embarrass them, but a person that was their first show, Big Fish, coming to me right before opening night going, is it usual to be nervous? I'm like, yes, it is. It's like, well, I feel like I'm going to throw up. And it's just like, just breathe. And that person has probably been in 6 different performances and shows since then. Or in Elf, when one of the young actors made a major mistake and was in tears, and I could pull him aside and look him in the eye and go, you know what? Everybody is here. You're still breathing. You're still alive. The show is going on. You don't have to worry about making a mistake anymore. You've already done it. You can just enjoy it. And giving them that freedom. And that person, that young person, has been in probably half a dozen shows since. So just watching people get their footing, get their grounded, get their confidence, and feel like, this is a cast that has my back. It's not all on my shoulders. We're all carrying this load, telling the story, and to me, those are my favorite memories. I would say, just like a lot of life, you never judge a book by its cover. You never judge something by one experience. So if you come to a show and it wasn't your cup of tea, whatever the plot, the characters, the language, whatever it was, I would say, come back. There are other shows. They do quite a variety. And if it's any desire of yours to be involved, just hold up your hand, go to the office and ask, how can I help? Because there's always opportunities. Some casts are small, so they get very, very picky. Some casts are very, very large, and they're always looking for people. So just the fact, if you audition for a small cast and you didn't make it, don't walk away and say, well, I'm not needed or wanted. There's opportunities.
Yeah, the only thing that I would add is just go for it. If you don't know if you're gonna like a certain thing, if you like selling tickets at the ticket booth, or if you don't know if you would like being on stage, or just go for it. And if one thing doesn't fit you, go ahead and try something else. There's always things to do at the barn.
And if you're lucky, you even get to kiss the girl.
I love that.
Oh,
That's so nice.
you kid.